The women's changing rooms. First door on the left. You're welcome to come in. You would not want to miss this. Hosted by Ginette and Donessa.
Welcome to the Women's Changing Room. I am Donessa.
And I'm Ginette. Welcome. Come on in, take a seat, get relaxed and comfortable. We are the Women's Changing Room. We transverse the globe to uplift and empower our women.
Yeah. Welcome, guys.
Donessa, what is this week's episode about?
All right. So many of you know, and if you don't know, you'll find out now. So on Saturday, which is the 19th of June, is Juneteenth. So we decided that we are going to tackle this topic and talk about it to educate our viewers who they're not sure about Juneteenth or the whole celebration about that, or emancipation or whatever it may be. We are just going to be talking about it and giving our perspective on this fragile conversation that is out there. So are you ready, Ginette?
I am most definitely ready for this one.
Okay. All right. So what we have first is, what is Juneteenth? So I wrote it down, so I'm just gonna read it out. It says it is a holiday celebrated on the 19th of June to commemorate the emancipation of enslaved people in the US. The holiday was first celebrated in Texas. 1865 is the aftermath of the Civil War. Slaves were declared free under the terms of the 1862 Emancipation Proclamation. So that's basically the whole backstory on Juneteenth. And this term, Juneteenth, is basically an American term.
Yeah. Most definitely American term. I don't like in our briefing, Donessa was saying to me, oh, this week we should discuss Juneteenth. I was like, okay, what is it? I never knew about Juneteenth. I don't know if it's just me, but I never knew. This is like new to me, Juneteenth. Yes, obviously I know about the emancipation of slavery, etc. Obviously, but I never knew it was a thing. Like June the 19th was a day where it is recognized. So
yeah. And I just the whole name, I mean, you know, in Grenada we celebrate emancipation, but the Americans, I'm not talking about North and South America. I'm talking about the Americans, like the US in particular.
Yeah.
They always like to brand things and come up with names and do all of these things. So I guess Juneteenth is one of them, in that way.
The catchy kind of, making it known, let everyone, know June the 19th is, the emancipation, celebration of emancipation.
Yeah.
So do you guys celebrate emancipation in Grenada? And if you do, when do you celebrate it? What day? What month?
Well, we do celebrate Emancipation Day here in Grenada because it's predominantly Black people who live here. So Emancipation Day is celebrated in August. That's when we celebrate it. So I'm just gonna read it out so you'll hear. Most of the people in the Caribbean celebrate it on the 1st of August. So Emancipation Day is a public holiday celebrating the abolition of slavery, although officially acknowledged worldwide as August 1st. In Grenada, Emancipation Day is celebrated on the first Monday of August, and we do a lot of cultural activities, remembering everything that was passed down to us from the people, from our ancestors. So yeah, we do it on the first Monday. and it's a holiday, so people don't have to work. So most people take part in this tradition, or they go and be spectators of this tradition. But for me, what I've known for a very long time, because I play steel pan with Comanchero Steel Orchestra here on the island, and what we do is on Emancipation Day morning, early 6 o'clock, everybody would get to the pan house and start striking up the instrument 6 o'clock to wake up the village, to wake up the neighborhood, to just ring the sweet sound of pan for us. And that's what I know. That's what I do to celebrate on Emancipation Day year after year since playing pan with commentaries.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
It's nice. Really, really nice.
So
sorry, go on.
Go ahead. Let me hear, because I was going to ask you, how do you guys celebrate, or what do you guys do, or if you have a day? But go ahead. Maybe you're going to answer.
Yeah, I sure am. We do nothing here in the UK to celebrate Emancipation Day. We have no holidays. It's not recognised. Zilch. Nothing is done for the Emancipation Day. So yeah, we don't have nothing really, unless that I know of, but there's no public holiday, that's for sure. I suppose if like whoever chooses to celebrate it celebrates it in their own way, and maybe have like maybe a small minority of people may have like a seminar to recognize the occasion and celebrate the occasion. But in terms of publicly and awareness, spreading awareness, it's not done here in the UK. The only thing that is done in the UK is what do you call it? Black History Month in October. That's what's done. I know they're having this new thing now, which is Windrush. Is so back in the day, the Windrush boats was when our maybe grandparents would have left the Caribbean, go on the big boat and sail to the UK, where they would come and help develop England. So they have days where they recognise that now. That's sort of a new thing I think they're doing in June. I think May, June is the time that they just started to recognise. But the thing behind that was there's a lot of what can I say? Not issues, but there's a lot of politics, if I should say, behind that. I could go on into that for a while, but yeah, there's a lot of issues in terms of people who came over on the Windrush and living in the UK for like maybe over 50 years, and then they've been shipped back to the Caribbean, maybe like Jamaica. It's happened to a lot of people in Jamaica, saying that they are in England illegally. So that's a new thing that's happening at the moment and stuff, and a lot of people have been detained and shipped back to their countries. But yeah, sorry, I kind of went off track a bit, but
no,
yeah,
this is good, because this is good information, because like me, I'm sure it has people out there who didn't know the UK didn't have like a special holiday for people, because they're vast. There are different people there. It's a melting pot there. So it's things that I would think about, like, okay, that is something that they do. But it's just sad that it's only like for Black History Month. We know about Black History Month. Grenada, they talk about topics and everything for Black History Month, but what about the actual Emancipation Day and everything? It's just
there's nothing on for emancipation here in the UK. So it's crazy. And if there was any sort of like factual or documentaries surrounding it, it's never played on mainstream TV. It's always on a channel that no one really looks at here in the UK. And it will be like a time when no one's up, like 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock on a Thursday where everyone's got work, or Wednesday when people's got work the next day. So it's crazy.
It's sad.
Absolutely
It's sad
crazy.
because
It is sad.
here we have this holiday marks the end of slavery in the British Empire. So because and people may not, but Grenada was once controlled by the British for a very long time. All right. And we're independent now, but we still have ties with the UK. But to hear that, and what about the Black people, or what about the people who have ties to Africans, who have that ingrained in their DNA? What is, they need that. They need to educate the people about that. So it is just sad to hear.
It is. And there's one thing that they had in the Bank of England. They had this thing, I went over there in central London, the Bank of England. They had it's like a little museum of like how money has changed over the years, and so they had this feature where they had how in Grenada, all the slave owners who they had in, I think it was the Bacalet. I think it's the Bacalet plantation, and had all the names of the people who were enslaved and stuff. So I went down there just to kind of see, but the thing is, you can't really read the writing. You don't know. It wasn't by surname, so you couldn't identify whether like it was your family by your surname. It was mainly like first names and things like that. So it was quite hard to actually read. But it was just crazy. It was just telling you how the banks of England had made money from Grenada, the two plantations in Grenada. But that was it really. So that's all that they had on.
Yeah, because it's all artifacts too, so you won't be able to see everything. I know we have a museum here. When I was younger, it had a lot of artifacts there and a lot of things there, but now there's not much. I don't know, because we need to do something about preserving these things, but I know it was open to the public. You can pay your $2, go in there, find out about it. The last I know of it here, it was closed for a while. I'm not sure if it's up and running again, but that's something that people can come and see different things here. But Emancipation, it helps us, and it helps us to remember what happened, and not really remember because we weren't a part of it, but at least we know the history, and we know what our ancestors been through. And I think it's relevant to continue knowing about it. And I feel like it's not a time to pass blame, because the Caucasian people, whether it's in the America or whether it's in the UK or wherever, they reside, we're not saying you are the one that enslaved our people. No, because obviously you're 30 something, you're 20 something, you have nothing to do with it. We're just saying that your generation, your people were the one who did it to us, and acknowledging it won't hurt anyone. Acknowledging that it happened and letting everyone know, not only does the Black people, but letting all races know, everyone worldwide know what happened.
I agree with you that. I mean, it is about the generation now acknowledging it, because obviously the slavery, our ancestors were what they went through, and the Caucasian slave owners, they kind of paved the way for their generation. you know, so they like their generation wealth and things like that. So it's in regards to the Caucasians now is like acknowledging it and how how you are in society, and when it comes to equal opportunities and the way you like, what's it called, like whether you find yourself superior over the black
The minorities.
person, the minorities, and you know, your I can't even think of the word that I want to say now.
I wish I could help. It's not coming.
Oh, it's not coming to me. But yeah, it's almost like, you know, how you are. Do you feel, oh, you're more superior because you know you stand a bit of opportunity than the black person, because obviously they're still to this day are stigmatized, are, you know, for the colors of our skin, judged for the colors of our skin, and we're always, no matter what, having to work harder than the next person. You know, so it's almost like whether you know, because some they'll say, yeah, we're with you, we'll stand with you, like Black Lives Matter, da, 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 da. When it comes down to it, are you really interested in our culture? Do you really feel what we feel? It's all right saying it, but showing it as well is a different story. It's a different story. So yeah, it's all about your role, how you really want to understand where we're coming from, you know. So
so before we continue, let's the importance, what is the importance of remembering, whether it's Black History, Emancipation, Juneteenth? What is the importance of it? We mentioned some already, like just getting the information out there or passing on the information to people. So I think I have like 4 different things. It's like where we came from and what we have achieved, and you touched on it because you said they created, because the Caucasian were the slave masters. Now it's ingrained in them, and you see certain Caucasian people still have that mindset towards the minority people, Black people, and all the other races. And the Black people, it's hard for them to move up for that upward mobility, because people, some of the Caucasians still have that mindset of looking down on us. So that's one importance, is for us to know how far we've come and what we have achieved. And there are a lot of people, a lot of Black people in prominent position today, but still the numbers and the statistics is still low compared to our Caucasian people, compared to different race. And even if they're still in that position, they're still looked down on. They're still frowned on. You know, so it is just this mindset.
They have to work even more harder, you know. There's no way you could be in that position and be relaxed at the position, because it could be strict. As a minority person, that position could be strict, just like that. One mistake or one thing that you've done, like, you know, that is not, they may not like it, they're stripping you off, because they're just already so ready to tear you and take you down, you know. So it's hard, it really is hard. But I'll say it is so important for us to know our history, especially in the UK, because we're only given 1 month, and it's not even in the curriculum at school. They want to say they're doing Black history and giving kids information about Usain Bolt. That is not Black history. That is not Black history. You know, it's crazy. Let them know for what's happened with to the enslaved, when people were slaves, and how they were taken from Africa and brought to the Caribbean and all over the place. you know.
Yeah.
So it's just it's important for us to know, and to know how far we've come and how it has impacted us up to this day.
Yeah.
As well. Still certain things, our mindset, you know, the way we behave, it's still like carried on with us over how many years. And also to show how strong we are, because no matter what, in our culture, we'll get stripped down, we're stripped down over, no matter where we are in the world. But we always rise up and get on, you know.
We always
do
push through the odds, you know. We have thick skin, because for our people to go through all of that ridicule and beating and all this mental strain, and for our people to still be here and still fighting the cause, that's a will and that's determination for sure. So fellow Black people out there, please know that you're special, you're made with love, and no matter what we go through, or whatever our ancestors went through, we would always rise above no matter what we go through. So it is sad. So I have remembering what our people went through. So that's a way for us, the younger people, to go through. Give each generation a time to reflect, because reflecting is key. We learn about a lot of things in history, and sometimes we forget it. And sometimes, because we know who is in charge, most of the time, depending on where you are, and you know we're always frowned upon, we develop that mindset where it's like the Caucasian people are superior to us. And we have that mindset now. When we see them, we think that they're superior to us, so we would always dumb ourselves down, or just put them on that pedestal where, and it's crazy because they did that to us, and nowadays we're not coming out from that ignorance. We are just like, okay, this is what they do, this is how they go about their things, and now we stoop and bend our heads, even if we're smart and if we know we're intelligent and even know what they did, we still are with that mindset, because mentally that is how we are conditioned.
And it really aggravates me. In fact, it really aggravates me, especially like in the Caribbean. Say say Grenada, for instance, when like you get the tourists and the Caucasian tourists coming in, and you want to be like, oh, pussyfooting around them and stuff, yeah. And then you want to have like the same, your people, Black people coming in, you just treat them like, it needs to stop.
Yeah.
Everyone's equal, you know, because at the end of the day, how do you look? It's still bloody slavery up to this modern day, but you lot don't see it, and it really frustrates me. It needs to stop. People's mindset needs to stop.
Yeah.
You know, it needs to be retrained. Because I don't understand, you know.
Yeah, we know they're coming to the country, they're bringing in the money. We know tourism here in Grenada,
and that's what,
and then we dumb ourselves down just because we want the money. But when we have our Black people, we watch them and we pass them, and with money. So yes, it happens here all the time.
It's the system as well. I'm not going to go into everything else, but it's the system that's been put in place as well. So where they're thinking, oh yeah, that's where the money is. Oh, tourism, that's where we have to do this. We have to bow it because we're going to get. No, it's bloody slavery. It's modern slavery. Okay. I'm
true.
sorry, but it really frustrates me. It really, really aggravates me, because it just, our people are not empowered. We're not like living our full potential.
No, we're not.
It's crazy.
No, it's not.
It's a time to change, and it needs to stop. You know, no way. Okay, even if you're in tourism and you want to sell whatever, but you don't need to feel like you have to act a certain way and towards one set of people and then ignore the other set of people that looks like you because of what? Because you've been trained to gravitate to these people and to almost like worship them. It's crazy.
Yeah. And that is why it is important. For my last point I have here for why it's important is to place Black people at the center of the conversation about freedom, educating the littlest one to the oldest one, because some of our people, all they know is the Caucasians are empowered, we are down here, and that's all we know. So when they come to our island, we have them up here like we're praising them, and our people are down here and we're not even studying about them. Or we have people coming into our country, buying out our land, buying out our business, buying everything out. But for us local Grenadians, or for us Black people, because we don't have that status of money and everything, no, everything is getting sold from under us. And what is there for us in our generation?
They don't want us to have that. They don't want us to have that. You know, we have the full potential of being able to buy, if we like able, given the opportunity in Grenada to be educated, to get good jobs. But no, it's not like that.
Exactly.
And then the thing is as well, you have the younger generation looking and seeing. So it's a repeat cycle. It's a never-ending cycle. Exactly. So if things are not put in place to change, it's going to forever be like that. And what's going to happen? It's just going to get worse.
Yeah.
It's just going to get worse.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like things like this really aggravates me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a bit heated, but it's really bad. It's really bad. And like for my people, these are the reasons why we started this podcast as well. It's to ways that we can empower our like people and stuff. You know? And like, I just hate to see where we're failing in that sense and where it doesn't need to be.
Yeah,
especially in a paradise where there's so much potential, so much potential within Grenada. And I think as well, for me being in the UK, where it's so suppressed because obviously we are the minorities.
Yeah.
And then when I'm looking on like a country where with the majority and that's still happening, it's crazy. It's so disheartening. It really is.
It makes me sad, to be honest. Whenever I talk about it and everything, it just makes me sad. And whenever I witness it, because the thing what makes me sad is the people in Grenada were predominantly Black. So, you know, when I travel to America, I'll be like, okay, it's mainly Caucasian people. So I could understand, you know, the whole majority minority thing.
Yeah.
But the thing that saddens me is here in Grenada, and probably in the Caribbean, it's predominantly Black. And because we have this negative connotation or this thing that we're conditioned with our own people, and when we see our people with the same skin color like us, it's either we have colorism or we have, and the people in authority too, they're the same color as us. But because they're conditioned that way, they're doing things that helps or improve the Caucasian people versus us.
Yeah. And it's because they feel like they're all right and because they're benefiting, and then they're letting them think, oh, well, you will stay on top if you just let us have this and let the others suffer, basically, and let them, you know, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Like I always said, you know what, if I always would have wanted to set up a business within Grenada and just to employ Grenadians, those who find it hard, you know, to get like decent jobs or not given the opportunity. Because sometimes some people, they just need the opportunity.
Yeah, that's all. Sometimes, yes. And I know, and we're not saying that all races, you have people that do good and we have people that do bad. We're not taking that away, but all we're saying is equal Well, sometimes the word equal for me, I don't really like to use the word equal. I prefer to use the word fair, fair
Fair.
treatment for all, you know. And
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, this this topic, yeah. And I know it saddens some of our viewers, it agitates some of our viewers, and some of them have no
Mm.
idea of what is
Yeah,
happening.
they
So
don't.
yeah.
And a lot of them, like, they don't have an idea because they think it's normal.
Yeah.
The way we live, it's normal. So they're just thinking they're going about the normal. They're going about their business. They're not none the wiser because this is the way that we should be living. When in fact,
Mm.
it's not. It's not. You shouldn't be feeling like, no,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah, that's how they condition us. So yeah, and so with us glancing back and everything that happened to our ancestors, you know, they were taken from homes, they were ripped apart from family members, they were sold, they were beaten, they were exploited, and with all of that, that is why some countries, as we know, like America, Juneteenth, Grenada, Emancipation Day, for the rest of some of the places they have Black History Month, and it's just go back, learn your history, understand everything, and just understand that it's not okay for when you see a Black person, you turn up your face, you look down on them. They go through a lot. Well, we go through a lot, and which brings us to the whole Black Lives Matter movement that we see on TV, we hear on our radio stations, we see on social media, and how things happen. What do you think about this with the Black Lives Matter?
I don't know how I feel about the whole Black Lives Matter movement because I just feel like, what is the agenda behind the whole Black Lives Matter movement? Is it just someone that is, because you hear so much speculations in regards to it.
Yeah.
So is it just someone who wants to make money from it? Is it actually a Black person who is the chair of it? Or is it someone who found the opportunity to say, oh yeah, let's do a whole movement that's Black Lives Matter, we can make money from this?
Yeah. And that's the thing. People are monetizing on the whole Black Lives Matter. For the whole Juneteenth thing, I saw that this company came out with ice cream for the whole Juneteenth. They have like this flavor for that, and then they had another one for Pride Month too. So this whole flavor. So I think in America, they capitalize and they monetize on a lot of things. But I just feel like the Black Lives Matter movement should be something serious. And for me, I feel like they talk more about it when the police break us down or something tragic happened, like, you know, what happened recently with George Floyd, like incidents like that happen, and then it comes back in the forefront of our minds when it should be there all the time. We should be there advocating and letting people know what we go through, and not only when it has tragedy then come and talk about it. So just like you, the whole Black Lives Matter movement, it's, to me, it's like it has its good, but then it has its bad too, because they're not consistent with it.
So like, sorry for cutting you, but you know, you just said that they're making ice cream out of it and selling it, yeah? So is it the money going to their pockets? Or is it going back to like poor Black communities?
I doubt it, but who am I? I don't know much about it.
I would love to create something. I could create something and then make money of it and then put it back into Black community.
Yeah.
Help those families who maybe are struggling to feed their child, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, I can understand if you're doing something. I mean, if you're making your own money, but still giving back to the community.
Giving back,
And
yeah.
all well and good.
Mm.
So, yeah.
And we know, I don't know who made it, but I know they were coming down under a lot of backlash from the media, with, you know, profiting and making things, you know, because I think that's just the American culture. Everything is to monetize or food related or whatever. But yeah, that was not sitting well with people at all with that.
No, terrible.
Yeah. So
It's actually terrible.
yeah. So Ginette, as we wrap up this podcast,
Oh wow, I was so into this. It's finished already.
I know, right? We've been talking for a very long time. We have about 3 minutes left.
A few minutes. Okay.
Yeah, it's about 3, yeah. So, well, we almost finished with everything. I wish we can go in depth more about the different topics that we have here, but for this podcast, we cannot. So, what are some things that you want to like closing remarks and everything to sum up this podcast?
To sum this up and quickly, I would say for the young people to educate themselves, speak to your families, speak to your grandparents as they're still, if you've got grandparents that's still alive, speak to them in regards to traditions, all the old traditions that's lost or, you know, that is dying out. You know, I think speak to them, and so we could keep our tradition going and stuff. Yeah. And our beliefs. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And with learning where we came from and knowing how we can move on as a people, as a race, we need to know about the stigmas and the negative connotation that are there behind it, and know that people would look at you and judge you without knowing you based on the color of your skin, whether it's your mix or whether it is your fully black or whatever it is. People would just see you and then they would just judge you based on just how you look, and it could be something furthest from the truth, but that's what they do. And people, maybe it's not happening to you, but there are a lot of people out there who go through their scrutiny on a day-to-day basis. So like Ginette said, learn your history, pass on the history to people that you know and know the truth, and stop looking at the Caucasian people or whoever it may be as gods. Start working on yourself.
And I'll say remain thick-skinned. Sorry, I'm just gonna have this. Just remain thick-skinned, because you know what? You will go through a lot. You will be pushed back, but remember, there's only one of you. Your kings, your queens out there. Remember that. So, and you're strong people. Yeah. And we all need to just stick together. Yeah. And we'll be very, very, very strong force together.
Sticking together is key, Ginette. Sticking together, because we have our own Black people and all African people selling out their own brothers and sisters. Some of them, you know, we say brothers and sisters and we're not, you know, we're pumpkin vine family, but you have some of us that are selling each other out. So stick together and know that that's your neighbor and that's your friend and that's the person who enjoyed and still enjoying the things that are happening currently, same as you. All right?
Yes, definitely.
Don't judge anyone. Not the Caucasian, not the Chinese, don't judge them. Just leave them, let them be, and work on yourself. All right?
Work on yourself.
Yeah. So thank you guys. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for listening. And we are going to see you in the next podcast. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye. Remember to follow us on our socials.